Welcome back to Volunteer Newscast. Here's your host, Ava Boggs.
Welcome back to the Volunteer Newscast. I'm one of your hosts, Ava Boggs. This week is quite a relaxed week and the week before spring break. Next week, we do not have school, so please keep that in mind. Cheer tryouts are coming up soon, so start getting ready for those. There will be a mandatory parent meeting on April 8th, and we will talk more about that when the time comes. There is a Lady Falcons softball game today at Lakeway and a boys baseball game at Claiborne. Both varsities will start at 7 p.m. Tomorrow, we have a track meet at Cherokee starting at 4, a home tennis match versus West Ridge also starting at 4, a Falcons soccer game at home against Cumberland Gap at 6:30, and lastly, a baseball game at home versus Claiborne at 7. Wednesday will be a slow day. We will be at home for a baseball match against Union at 6. However, Thursday is a very busy day, with a tennis match at Tennessee High at 4, a softball match at home versus Lehigh at 5, a baseball game at West Ridge at 5:30, and Falcons soccer at West Ridge at 6. Friday, we have another baseball game at home versus North Green at 7. Lastly, track at West Ridge starts at 10 a.m. the same day. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Electrical work is really hard.
Man, don't even worry about it. I got this.
Whatever you say, man. Oh my God! Are you okay? Well, Cooper, looks like me and you are going to find some more people to do some electrical work for us. I sure hope they can help. I wonder how many blondes it takes to screw in a light bulb. But that doesn't matter when you have Trinity Electric. Trinity Electric is just the best, but I'm sure you knew that by now. They're one of the greatest groups for electricians around here. If you have a problem with electrical stuff, they're the people to go to. Somebody like me can't understand that stuff, but they can, because they're the greats around here. You can contact them by their phone number, 423-276-8390. You can go to their place of work, which I have right here, or you can contact them by email. Thank you so much, Trinity Electric. Now, let's go check up on Cooper. I'm here at the hospital to check up on Cooper. I just hope he's okay. Thank God, Cooper, you're okay. They cured you from skeleton disease.
If only Trinity Electric was there.
You have a point, Cooper.
And welcome back. Tomorrow we have a special day for all classes. Seniors can turn in a form and job shadow, do community service, or tour college and be excused from school. Juniors are taking the ACT, and be sure to check your Canvas for which room you'll be in. Sophomores will be taking the ASVAB, and again, please check Canvas. Freshmen will be having an On Your Own program. And we've got a new special weekly show called Student of the Week. Every week we will have 3 interviews hosted by Skyla Jenkins to showcase students that excel in one of 3 categories: art, academics, and athletics. So make sure to tune in. Again, reminder that spring break is next week, so hang in there.
Alright guys, I'm Skyla Jenkins and I'm here with
JC Bagley.
and this is the Student of the Week for the sports. So JC, I've got a few questions for you. I want to ask, what is your biggest motivation, do you think? You run all the time, all those sports you do, what do you think is your biggest motivation?
I don't really have a biggest motivation. I just kind of do it just because I enjoy it, so.
Alright, that's more than I can say. What do you think is your biggest accomplishment thus far in any of the sports you do?
Definitely for cross country, I'd definitely say that getting 5th in the state was definitely one of my biggest accomplishments. Basketball, probably getting like the alternate teams for both conference and region, and then for track was getting 2nd in the state for 800.
Yeah, that is really, really impressive. So you run a lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whew. So what are your future career, like your future goals within like running or like basketball or stuff like that? Do you have any things that you want to accomplish?
So for the future, I'll be going to LMU, and I'm going to be continuing running cross country and track, and so I'm hoping that I could possibly make some accomplishments and achieve some of my goals that I'll be setting forward more toward college. I'm hoping that I could possibly get a all-conference team for that, but it'll definitely just depend on how much work I can put in and how everything goes, if I have a healthy season and everything, so.
I'm hoping that you do because you're an awesome runner. So you said you're going to LMU, right? What are you planning on doing at LMU?
I'm trying to major in political science, but from where I'm so new to everything, we'll we'll see how it eventually goes, but I'll try and definitely figure that out in my first year of college.
Oh yeah, it's the first year of college is always kind of a testing ground from what I've heard. All right, are there any tips or tricks that you have for running or for life in general? Because I would definitely like to hear them.
For running, I really don't know how to put in like any tips and tricks. I mean, you just got to put in the work because you can't get any better. It's like an individual sport. Like, you can't just rely on somebody. You have to rely on yourself. I mean, yeah, it's a team sport at some points, but you're individually, like, pushing yourself. Like, you have to practice and, like, make yourself better. But for basketball, I definitely say for the kids that's coming up or becoming, like, you know, the upperclassmen and stuff like that, I definitely say enjoy your time while you're playing basketball because that time will end eventually.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview. It was nice getting to know you. And thank you guys for Sports Student of the Week. All right, guys, we're back with Miss
Ryan James
for Student of the Week for the Arts. So, Miss Ryan, what drives you? What is your biggest motivation, do you say?
Honestly, I just would love to be the best person out there, and I just want to make everyone happy and just hopefully like they enjoy what they're watching and what they're listening to.
All right, I also heard you're a singer, so what is your motivation between singing?
I definitely just want to improve. Like, I want to be the best I can possibly be and just to show everyone my abilities and talents.
All right, what do you think is your biggest accomplishment thus far within plays or singing?
Well, my biggest accomplishment in singing would definitely have to be making All-State Choir.
Oh, yeah.
That is a super big deal. I was so excited that I was able to make All-State. But I think the biggest accomplishment with acting would have to be when I played Anastasia in Anastasia.
Really?
Yes.
Where did you play that at?
Jonesboro Repertory Theater.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's awesome. So what are your future goals within your acting or singing career? Like, what do you hope this leads to?
This is going to be really cliche. I would love to be on Broadway.
Yeah.
Broadway's obviously the biggest one, but I feel like traveling Broadway.
Yeah.
Like the tours that just go all over everywhere.
I would think that would be pretty cool. I'd like to see travel, things like that too. So what do you plan to do for college or like your career? Do you plan on having singing part of your well, obviously with Broadway.
Well, obviously I would like to do Broadway, but I'm going to go to ETSU, and I'm going to major in musical theater and elementary education. So I'm going to double major so I can get the best of both worlds. But if I can't do Broadway, I plan on just being like an elementary school teacher and doing some local stuff.
I think that suits you. You look like a very elementary school teacher, very sweet kind of person. All right, so are there any tips or tricks you'd like the audience to know about singing or just acting in general?
Just go out there and be confident. Even if you like screw up something big and you're like, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna notice. Unless they have their sheet music right in front of you, they're not gonna know.
Oh, yeah.
So if you just go out there and act like you own the world, they're gonna be like, that was amazing.
Fake
Even
it
if
till
it
you
wasn't
make it.
perfect. Yeah, fake it till you make it. And just really pretend that you're performing for someone you love.
Yeah.
Because if you go out there, someone you love is not gonna be like, that was horrible.
Yeah.
They're gonna always want to support you.
That's a good thing. Whew. All right, that was it for this Student of the Week Arts interview. Thank you guys for watching. All right, guys, and we're back with this final Student of the Week, Mr.
Parker Monet.
And he is here for academics version. So what kind of clubs do you do?
So I'm in robotics, Technology Student Association, Beta Club, Key Club, and Mu Alpha Theta.
All right, robotics, that's interesting. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so basically we work with a team to put together robots that meet certain guidelines. We've got 2 separate competitions we do. We got a whole long list of things that the robots have to do and make sort of engineering decisions to accomplish that and get the competition done.
All right, so you're obviously really smart. I heard you made really high scores on the ACT from Mr. Cooper. What drives your ambition? Like, why do you seek to be so smart?
I just want to be able to set myself up for success later in life, get into a good school, and just be able to, like I said, set myself up to have a decent job, decent life later on.
Oh yeah, that's really important. So what would you say is your biggest accomplishment thus far within the academic field?
I'm really proud of what I've done with robotics, obviously, because it's just been really large projects to work on with a lot of people, so it feels really good to be able to do stuff like that. I'm also really proud to have helped grow the Technology Student Association, TSA, because that we only refounded the chapter. It had been dormant for several years my sophomore year. So it's been nice to help that grow back and actually become a semi-successful club.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I don't even know how. So what do you think your future goals are within the academic field?
So I plan to go into mechanical engineering. Right now I'm planning to go to either UT or Tennessee Tech for a bachelor's in that and become a mechanical engineer somewhere at potentially an aerospace company. Is kind of what I had in mind, but I don't really know for sure.
Oh yeah, you're shooting for the big leagues, aren't you? So is that you're wanting? So what exactly is the career you're looking for?
Mechanical engineering, so it's a super wide field depending on where one works, but essentially just designing things to work with existing products and make them function.
That's awesome. So any tips or tricks for like the new ACT takers or just anybody who's coming into robotics or TSA or anything like that?
Going into the ACT, the biggest thing I can say is don't overthink things. The biggest problem most people have is time management, so they run out of problems, especially on like the math portion. But if you don't know how to do something, just move on, skip it and come back to it if you have time, and just don't get stuck on one question. And just in general, if there's something you're interested in trying, like for me, going into robotics or TSA or any of the clubs I'm in, you just go for it and see if it's for you, because there's very little bad that can come of it, and you might get something that you stick with for life.
Yeah, well, that is a lot of good information, and thank you so much for being on this week's newscast.
Thank you.
Welcome back. That's going to wrap up this week's news. Thank you all so much for watching.